When we think about transformation, most people imagine a sudden, dramatic change, a lightning bolt moment that flips their life upside down. But the truth is, transformation rarely happens overnight. True change is built slowly, deliberately, and consistently over time. It is the daily choices, the small actions repeated without fail, that compound into extraordinary results. Consistency is not glamorous. It's not about taking huge leaps every day. It's about showing up even when motivation is low, even when the results are invisible. It's about planting seeds day after day, knowing that with patience and effort, they will grow into something remarkable. Think about a professional athlete, an artist, or a successful entrepreneur. Their secret isn't innate talent, it's the relentless practice, the discipline to do what others won't, even when it's hard. They understand that every small action matters. Every workout, every page written, every conversation had, every decision to improve is a step in the direction of excellence. Consistency builds trust with yourself and with others. When you show up every day for your goals, you start to internalize discipline. You become someone who keeps promises, not just to the world, but to yourself. And over time, this trust becomes unshakable confidence. But to be consistent, you must know your why. Your purpose is the anchor that will keep you on track when obstacles appear. Without it, consistency becomes mechanical and exhausting. With it, every action has meaning, every effort feels worthwhile, and your momentum becomes unstoppable. Finally, remember, this transformation is not about perfection. It's about progress. Small, consistent steps compound over time to create outcomes you never thought possible. If you commit to showing up every single day, your life will inevitably transform, not because of one monumental action, but because of the accumulation of your efforts, patience, and discipline. Consistency is your superpower. It turns ordinary routines into extraordinary results. It transforms dreams into reality. And it shapes not just what you do, but who you become. Fact keynotes of the speech: true transformation comes from small, consistent daily actions, not sudden dramatic changes. Showing up every day, even without visible results, compounds into extraordinary success over time. Consistency builds trust and discipline, both with yourself and others. Knowing your purpose, why, is crucial to maintaining consistency in the face of challenges. Transformation is about progress, not perfection. Consistent effort shapes both results and character. When we think about transformation, our minds often jump to the idea of dramatic change. We imagine a moment when everything shifts at once, a sudden breakthrough that makes life unrecognizable from the way it was before. But in reality, transformation is rarely about a single moment. It is the result of small, deliberate actions repeated day after day, actions that may seem insignificant at first, but accumulate into profound change over time. This is why consistency is so critical. Transformation is a process, not an event, and understanding this distinction is the first step toward creating lasting impact in your life. Consider the example of learning a skill, whether it's playing an instrument, mastering a language, or becoming proficient in a professional field. No one becomes excellent overnight. A musician does not become virtuoso in a single week of practice, nor does a language learner suddenly speak fluently after one intensive session. Each practice session, each small effort contributes to gradual improvement. Each day you dedicate time to your craft, you are investing in a future version of yourself that is stronger, more capable, and more resilient. These incremental steps may feel slow, even invisible at first, but they are the foundation of meaningful transformation. The power of small, consistent actions is in their compounding effect. When you repeat a behavior regularly, it begins to create a habit. Habits are not born from motivation alone. They are forged through repetition. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes with moods, energy levels, and circumstances. Consistency, on the other hand, does not rely on how you feel in the moment. It is the discipline to act regardless of temporary emotions or challenges. Every day that you take a small, deliberate step toward your goals, you are strengthening the neural pathways that make the behavior easier the next day. This is how small actions, repeated consistently, eventually lead to mastery. One of the most important truths about consistent action is that it often produces invisible results at first. When you plant a seed, you do not see the tree the next day. You water it, nurture it, and patiently wait as it grows below the surface. Similarly, the results of consistent effort in your life may not be immediately obvious. You may be learning, practicing, or building without any outward sign of progress. This is why patience is essential. Trusting the process, believing that each small action is contributing to your growth, allows you to maintain momentum even when the outcomes are not yet visible. Over time, the accumulation of these efforts reaches a tipping point where transformation becomes undeniable. Consistency also teaches resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges will inevitably arise. The key difference between those who transform their lives and those who remain stagnant is the ability to keep going despite obstacles. When you commit to showing up every day, you develop a mindset that values progress over perfection. You learn to face setbacks without abandoning your goals. You understand that temporary failures are not indicators of your worth or potential, but are part of the learning and growth process. Each day that you persist strengthens not only your skills, but also your character, preparing you for even greater challenges in the future. Another crucial aspect of consistent action is that it creates clarity and momentum. When you engage in deliberate daily effort, you gain a deeper understanding of your goals and the steps needed to achieve them. Each day's work informs the next, allowing you to adjust, refine, and improve Momentum builds naturally when actions are repeated consistently, creating a cycle of progress that reinforces itself. Even small actions, when taken consistently, eventually generate energy, confidence, and visible results that propel you forward. Ultimately, the first step toward any meaningful transformation is committing to daily, deliberate actions, no matter how small they may seem. Recognizing that transformation is a process, not an event, allows you to shift your focus from instant results to steady, sustainable progress. It is the accumulation of these small efforts, performed consistently over time, that leads to mastery, growth, and the ability to achieve goals once thought impossible. The discipline to act every day, combined with patience and persistence, is the cornerstone of personal and professional transformation. Showing up every day, even when results are not immediately visible, is one of the most powerful habits a person can cultivate. The human mind naturally craves quick feedback. We want to see instant results for our efforts, and when they don't appear, it's easy to become discouraged, to question whether our work is worth it. Yet the reality is that some of the most meaningful achievements in life are the result of persistent, consistent action over long periods, often without immediate recognition or reward. The ability to continue showing up, even when outcomes are uncertain, separates those who transform their lives from those who remain stuck in cycles of inconsistency and frustration. Every day presents an opportunity to move forward, to make progress toward the life you want to create. It doesn't matter how small the steps are. What matters is that you take them consistently. A single day of effort may seem insignificant, and in isolation it often is. But when repeated day after day, these small actions compound, creating momentum that is impossible to ignore. This is the principle behind consistency, the understanding that results are the product of sustained effort, not one-off attempts. When you embrace the habit of showing up daily, you begin to build the foundation for transformation in a way that cannot be achieved through sporadic bursts of energy or motivation alone. One of the reasons daily commitment is so powerful is that it trains your mind to embrace discipline over motivation. Motivation is fragile. It fluctuates based on mood, energy, and external circumstances. Some days, you may feel inspired and ready to tackle any challenge. Other days, you may feel exhausted, distracted, or discouraged. Consistency bridges this gap by creating a pattern of action that does not rely on how you feel in the moment. By showing up regardless of your emotions, you reinforce the habit of persistence and internalize a mindset that prioritizes effort over comfort. This mindset becomes a cornerstone for long-term success, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with resilience and determination. Consistency also teaches you the value of patience. Most people want results instantly. They want their hard work to pay off immediately. But life rarely works this way. Growth, mastery, and meaningful achievements often take time, and the most significant changes are usually invisible at first, just like a sculptor chipping away at a block of stone. You may not see the final form until months or even years of effort have passed. Yet every daily action brings you closer to the finished masterpiece. By showing up consistently, you cultivate the ability to trust the process, to recognize that every small effort, though unseen, contributes to the larger picture. This trust is essential for maintaining momentum and avoiding the temptation to give up prematurely. Another critical aspect of showing up every day is that it strengthens confidence and self-trust. When you consistently meet your own commitments, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, capable, and disciplined. This builds an internal sense of integrity that is far more powerful than external validation. You begin to trust yourself to follow through on your goals, and this self-trust becomes a source of motivation in itself. When challenges arise, you are less likely to doubt your ability to overcome them because you have cultivated a history of persistence and reliability. Finally, showing up every day creates momentum. Momentum is a force that builds gradually and accelerates over time. Every action you take is like a drop of water filling a reservoir. Initially, the impact of each drop seems minor, but as the reservoir fills, the power of accumulation becomes undeniable. Momentum not only amplifies results, but also reinforces the habit of consistent action. When you start to see progress, however small, it motivates you to keep going. The combination of discipline, patience, and momentum creates a self-reinforcing cycle that propels you toward your goals in a way that is both natural and sustainable. By committing to showing up every day, even when the outcomes are not immediately visible, you are building more than skills, habits, or accomplishments. You are cultivating resilience, self-trust, patience, and momentum. You are shaping a mindset that values effort over immediate gratification and progress over perfection. This ability to persist, even in the absence of immediate results, is a defining characteristic of those who transform their lives and achieve long-term success. Each day you show up is a vote for the life you want to create, a commitment to your growth, and a step closer to the transformation you seek. Consistency does more than just help you achieve goals. It builds trust, both with yourself and with the world around you. When you commit to showing up every day and following through on your promises, you are signaling something powerful, that you are reliable, disciplined, and dedicated. Trust is rarely built through grand gestures or occasional brilliance. It is forged in the repetition of small, dependable actions over time. When others observe your consistent effort, they begin to see you as dependable, someone who can be counted on. And this perception creates opportunities and strengthens relationships in ways that sporadic effort never can. Trust with yourself is equally important, and it forms the foundation of personal discipline. Every time you take action as planned, Even when it is difficult or inconvenient, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of keeping your word to yourself. This internal trust transforms how you approach your goals. You stop relying solely on fleeting motivation, and instead, you rely on your own commitment and consistency. You develop a sense of integrity that is self-sustaining, allowing you to maintain progress even when external circumstances are challenging or unpredictable. The more consistently you act in alignment with your values and objectives, the stronger this trust becomes, creating a cycle of confidence and reliability that fuels further growth. One of the most significant benefits of building trust through consistency is the reduction of internal conflict. When you commit to a goal and consistently act toward it, you no longer waste mental energy debating whether you should take action or procrastinate. Decisions become easier because your habits have already laid the groundwork. You build a rhythm in your life, and this rhythm creates a sense of control and stability. By reducing internal friction, consistency frees up mental and emotional energy that can then be redirected toward learning, creativity, and progress. In this way, trust and discipline are not abstract concepts, they are practical tools that make your daily life more effective and fulfilling. Consistency also creates external trust that can have profound impacts on your career, relationships, and personal influence. When people observe that you follow through on commitments and act reliably, they are more likely to depend on you, collaborate with you, and support your endeavors. Trust is a currency in human interactions, and consistent action is one of the most reliable ways to earn it. The reputation you build through daily dedication opens doors that sporadic effort cannot. Whether it is colleagues, friends, mentors, or clients, consistent behavior signals to others that you are someone who honors commitments, values responsibility, and can be counted on when it matters most. Another important aspect is how consistency fosters resilience. When you make a habit of showing up regardless of circumstances, you develop the ability to withstand challenges without losing momentum. You train yourself to respond with discipline instead of frustration or defeat. This resilience is both a personal and social asset. It strengthens your relationships because others know they can rely on you, and it strengthens your inner resolve because you have proven to yourself repeatedly that you are capable of persistence. Each act of consistency reinforces your ability to stay focused, recover from setbacks, and continue moving forward even when progress seems slow or obstacles appear. Finally, trust and discipline gained through consistency become a self-reinforcing cycle. The more you act consistently, the more trust you build, and the stronger your discipline becomes. Strong discipline, in turn, makes it easier to maintain consistent effort, which further deepens trust and credibility. This cycle not only accelerates personal and professional growth, but also transforms how you perceive yourself. You begin to identify as someone reliable, capable, and intentional, someone who can achieve difficult goals because you have cultivated the habits, discipline, and trust necessary to do so. Over time, this identity becomes ingrained, shaping both the results you achieve and the person you are becoming. By understanding that trust, internal and external, is built through consistency, you can approach your life with intentionality. Every small action, every daily effort is a vote for the kind of person you want to be and the life you want to create. When you consistently show up, you not only move closer to your goals, but also create a foundation of trust and reliability that amplifies every aspect of your life. The discipline and integrity gained from this process are as transformative as the tangible results themselves, shaping both who you are and how the world perceives you. To be consistent in your daily actions, you must first understand your purpose, your why. Without a clear sense of direction, consistency can feel like a mechanical task, a repetitive effort that quickly becomes exhausting and meaningless. Purpose is the anchor that gives your actions meaning, the internal compass that keeps you moving forward when obstacles arise or motivation wanes. When your actions are rooted in a strong why, every small step becomes a deliberate move towards something greater, and consistency transforms from a chore into a powerful tool for growth. Having a clearly defined purpose provides clarity in decision-making. Life is full of distractions and competing priorities, and without understanding why you are pursuing a particular goal, it is easy to become derailed. When your actions are aligned with a meaningful purpose, it becomes easier to prioritize, to allocate your time and energy toward what truly matters. Consistency is not about blindly repeating actions. It is about intentionally showing up for the things that align with your values and long-term vision. Every choice becomes simpler when it is guided by your purpose, and the daily effort required to achieve your goals feels purposeful and energizing rather than draining. Understanding your why also fuels resilience in the face of challenges. Obstacles are inevitable in any meaningful pursuit. Without a strong reason to persist, setbacks can quickly lead to discouragement and abandonment of goals. Purpose provides the context that allows you to see challenges not as insurmountable barriers, but as necessary parts of the growth process. When you are deeply connected to your why, you can maintain consistency even in difficult circumstances because you recognize that temporary difficulties are part of a larger journey towards something meaningful. This mindset separates those who succeed over the long term from those who give up at the first sign of struggle. Consistency is reinforced when your purpose is clear because it creates intrinsic motivation. External rewards and recognition can be motivating, but they are unreliable and often fleeting. Intrinsic motivation, on the other hand, comes from the satisfaction of acting in alignment with your values and pursuing what truly matters to you. When you consistently act in a way that is guided by your purpose, each small effort provides its own reward, reinforcing the habit of daily action. Over time, this creates a self-sustaining cycle. The clearer your purpose, the easier it is to stay consistent, and the more consistent you become, the more progress you make toward your meaningful goals. A clear purpose also helps you maintain focus over the long term. In a world full of distractions, it is easy to be pulled in multiple directions, diluting your energy and slowing progress. Knowing your why acts as a filter for decisions and actions. It allows you to say no to distractions, to resist short-term temptations, and to stay committed to the daily actions that truly matter. This focus is essential for consistency because it ensures that your repeated efforts are not wasted on activities that do not contribute to your overall vision. Each action becomes a deliberate step, and each day of consistent effort compounds to create measurable progress. Purpose also strengthens the connection between action and fulfillment. Many people work hard every day but feel a sense of emptiness because their efforts are disconnected from what truly matters to them. Consistency without purpose can lead to burnout and frustration. When your actions are guided by a meaningful reason, however, each step carries emotional and psychological significance. This connection between effort and meaning energizes you to keep going, even when the work is difficult or monotonous. Purpose turns routine action into a pathway toward fulfillment and self-actualization. Finally, understanding your purpose allows you to adapt and persevere without losing sight of your goals. Life is unpredictable, and the path to achievement is rarely linear. Challenges, changes, and unexpected circumstances will arise, testing your consistency. When your why is clear, you can adjust your methods while staying committed to your vision. This flexibility is essential because consistency is not about rigid repetition, it is about persistent progress. Your purpose provides the stability needed to remain consistent in the face of change, ensuring that every effort, even if adapted, continues to move you closer to meaningful transformation. By anchoring your actions in a clear and meaningful purpose, you transform consistency from a mechanical task into a deliberate, powerful force for growth. Your why gives clarity, focus, resilience, intrinsic motivation, and fulfillment, making it possible to maintain consistent effort over the long term. Purpose transforms every small action into a meaningful contribution toward the life you want to create, ensuring that consistency becomes not just a habit, but a pathway to extraordinary achievement. Transformation is not about perfection, it is about progress. Far too many people get trapped in the idea that unless they can achieve a goal flawlessly or execute a plan without mistakes, their efforts are meaningless. This mindset is one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth and lasting success. In reality, consistent progress, even if imperfect, compounds over time and creates results far greater than occasional moments of brilliance. Understanding that transformation is a journey, not a one-time event, allows you to embrace small wins, learn from mistakes, and stay committed to continuous improvement. Every day presents an opportunity to make progress, no matter how small. Taking action consistently, even when the outcome is uncertain or the effort feels insignificant, builds momentum that is far more powerful than sporadic bursts of energy. The key is to focus on the process rather than fixating solely on the result. Each step you take, each action you repeat, contributes to growth, whether it is visible immediately or not. By shifting your mindset from perfection to progress, you allow yourself to take action without fear of failure, understanding that mistakes are part of the learning process rather than a reflection of your abilities or worth. Progress over perfection also fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable. If your mindset is tied to perfection, any deviation from the plan can lead to discouragement and abandonment of goals. When you focus on consistent progress, however, challenges become opportunities to learn, adapt, and improve. Each setback is not a failure, but a lesson that informs your next steps. This perspective encourages persistence and cultivates mental toughness. As you begin to see that steady effort, even in the face of difficulties, ultimately produces meaningful results. Resilience grows naturally from the commitment to progress, reinforcing your ability to stay consistent over the long term. Consistency and progress are deeply interconnected. When you commit to showing up daily and taking deliberate actions toward your goals, you are prioritizing growth over immediate perfection. Over time, these small, consistent actions accumulate and produce results far beyond what is possible through occasional high-intensity effort. Progress compounds, building skills, habits, confidence, and momentum. This compounding effect is what turns ordinary routines into extraordinary achievements. By embracing progress as the guiding principle, you transform every effort into a building block for long-term success. Focusing on progress also encourages self-compassion and patience. People who demand perfection from themselves often experience frustration, guilt, or shame when they fall short. This negative self-talk can undermine motivation and make consistency feel impossible. By contrast, a progress-focused mindset allows you to acknowledge and celebrate small victories while accepting that mistakes are part of the journey. You learn to view challenges and imperfections as natural steps toward growth rather than personal shortcomings. This self-compassion creates a positive feedback loop, making it easier to maintain consistent effort and sustain motivation over time. Another critical aspect of progress over perfection is adaptability. Transformation rarely follows a straight line. Circumstances change, goals evolve, and obstacles appear that require adjustments in strategy. A rigid pursuit of perfection can make it difficult to adapt, as any deviation from the ideal plan may feel like failure. When your focus is on continuous progress, however, adaptation becomes a strength rather than a liability. You are free to modify your approach, experiment with new methods, and refine your actions without losing sight of your overall objective. This flexibility enhances consistency because you are committed to forward movement rather than adherence to a flawless but unrealistic standard. Finally, progress-focused consistency shapes both your results and your identity. As you take deliberate steps every day, you begin to internalize the behaviors and habits that produce success. You start to identify as someone who takes action, learns from mistakes, and persists despite challenges. This identity reinforces consistent behavior, creating a self-sustaining cycle where effort, growth, and results feed into one another. Over time, the cumulative effect of focusing on progress rather than perfection becomes transformative, not only in what you achieve, but in the person you become. By embracing progress as the primary measure of success, you release the pressure to be perfect and instead commit to continuous growth. Consistency becomes a tool for advancement, learning, and self-improvement rather than a source of stress or judgment. Every small step repeated daily compounds into results that are often far greater than you imagined. Transformation is not a sudden leap, but the outcome of steady, intentional effort that prioritizes progress over perfection, turning everyday actions into extraordinary achievements and shaping the person you are becoming in the process. As we reflect on the principles we've explored, it becomes clear that transformation is not the result of sudden breakthroughs or fleeting inspiration. It is built through small, deliberate actions repeated consistently over time. Showing up every day, even when results are not immediately visible, cultivates momentum, resilience, and trust, both with yourself and with those around you. When your actions are anchored in a clear purpose, your consistency gains meaning, focus, and direction. And by focusing on progress rather than perfection, you allow yourself to grow, adapt, and move forward without fear or hesitation. Consistency is not merely a habit. It is a powerful force that shapes both what you achieve and who you become. Every effort you make, every choice to act, and every day you commit to moving forward compounds into results far beyond what you may imagine today. Transformation is a journey of patience, discipline, and intentionality, and it is available to anyone willing to embrace the process. So the choice is yours. Decide to show up every single day. Take deliberate steps toward your goals, anchored in purpose and guided by progress. Trust the process. Embrace consistency and let your daily actions transform your life. In the accumulation of these efforts, you will not only achieve remarkable results, you will become the person capable of creating the extraordinary life you desire.